This video will cover the processor installation procedure for the LGA2011 socket, followed by the installation of the Intel RTS2011LC liquid cooling solution. The independent loading mechanism, or ILM, is used to achieve proper pin loading to deliver consistent pressure across the socket. The ILM includes the ILM frame, load plate, hinge lever, load lever with the load cam, and removable ILM cover. The load plate has markings showing which lever is used first when either opening or closing the socket. There is also an interlocking feature to ensure the proper lever sequence is used. To prepare the socket for processor insertion, first unlatch the hinge lever. It is important not to open this lever past the resistance point at approximately 35 degrees. Otherwise, the ILM can be damaged. Now unlatch the load lever and press down on the hinge lever to lift the load plate. Once the load plate is raised, carefully grip the front and open it fully. Never touch the socket contacts at any time when the contacts are exposed, as this could cause damage. When handling the processor, never touch the underside components or the contact lens. Align the processor to the socket, matching up the pin 1 indicators. Then carefully lower the processor into the socket. Make sure the processor is properly aligned in the socket. The pin 1 and 4 keying features line up, and the processor corners are fully seated in the socket. Now carefully close the load plate with ILM cover over the processor and latch the load lever. The ILM cover is designed to automatically unlatch and pop off. If the ILM cover does not fully pop off, remove it manually. Then close and latch the hinge lever to complete the processor installation. With the processor installed, the standard RTS2011 AC heatsink can be used, but for those seeking a high-performance installation, the Intel RTS2011LC liquid cooling solution is the better choice. The Intel RTS2011LC liquid cooling solution is made up of the following parts: the cooling assembly, consisting of the pump, radiator, connecting hoses, and wiring. The fan assembly, a circular hold-down bracket with adjustable feet. 2 sets of large fasteners. For LGA2011 installation, the shorter set is used. Thermal interface material, or TIM, and screws of various lengths for different installations. This kit has the option of installing over an existing chassis fan, but for this video, only the included fan will be used. First, install the included fan assembly on the hose side of the radiator using the mid-length screws. Position the fan assembly so the power cable is next to one of the hoses. Before installing the hold-down bracket, make sure that the outside markings on the feet show LGA2011. If not, rotate the foot 180 degrees. With the feet in the correct orientation, insert the fasteners through the feet until they snap into place. Apply the TIM to the top of the processor. Hold the bracket with the fasteners above the socket, roughly matching the 4 fasteners to the heatsink attachment points. Line up the flanges on the pump to the openings on the hold-down bracket and lower the pump down through the bracket. Then rotate the pump so the flanges are under the bracket fingers. With the pump and bracket lined up, lower the assembly onto the processor, lining up the fasteners to the heatsink attachment points. With everything in position, tighten the fasteners in a cross pattern to lock the pump securely onto the processor. Position the radiator and fan assembly inside the chassis where the chassis fan was originally located. Line up the screw holes on the chassis with the holes on the corners of the radiator and insert the 4 shorter screws, with washers if needed, through the outside of the chassis into the radiator to mount it in position. With everything installed and clearances checked, connect the fan power cable to the corresponding connector coming from the pump. Then connect the power cable from the pump to the CPU fan power header on the motherboard to complete the installation. For more information, go to intel.com/support/processors.